Hi, this is Dave Bennett with T2HA, and it is March 2nd, 2016. I want to give you guys a sneak preview into an extremely powerful tool we've been building in the back end. Like we keep saying, we're building the best websites ever. We're kind of on a mission for doing it. So we want our templates to outperform everyone else's templates. In a nutshell, we want to make sure that we take care of all those hidden factors that help a website perform better. Stuff you don't see from the outside, but need to take care of. It's pretty critical on the inside. The more competitive you make your templates perform technically, that is, you take care of the HTML validation errors, you take care of minifications of things, you do other things to make the pages compete, then the better they can rank. And so everything we do now is geared towards that. And I just want to walk you through a tool that we have right now that does a lot of this stuff extremely well. So this tool applies in two ways. One, if you have your own host monster dedicated server. Okay, I don't know how this performs on a VPS. We haven't tried it. But if you have it on a dedicated server, then this tool gets installed on your server, and we can run this tool on your server, okay, to cover your websites. And that means you can take care of all the websites you have on your server. Okay. For those of you who are hosted on our server, we can take care of you directly. So I just want to show you some of the basic features of this kind of thing that we have now. So landing in the dashboard, there's nothing to see. If I go to set up cPanel account, take a look. This is where I can buy a bunch of domains from GoDaddy, and I can create the accounts really, really fast here. So I can download a sample just so you can kind of see how this thing goes. Let me see if I enable it. So you would just put in your server URL, whatever your root password is, your list of cPanels, and again, this can be a long list. It's perfectly fine. Usernames. Now you have to go out of your way to create usernames. So if you just want, you can have the system generate usernames directly, so you don't have to generate usernames at all. There. And so that just takes that away. You just paste in domain, password, and domain name. Well, WHM, domain, password, and domain name. By the way, WHM, that means Web Host Manager. That is your dedicated server, right? So for instance, ours right now is mojisystem.com. So literally this would be our WHM domain. And if, except spell it right. And if that's the only server I'm putting it on, then that's the same server in all cases. However, I could install to my server, John's server, Mary's server, whatever. I can go on and on like that. Now for the password, just paste that on down, whatever that would be. Okay. And then whatever my domain is. By the way, there's no point to the clickable links. It's just unnecessary. So then whatever my domain names are, that's what I bought at GoDaddy, right? To paste in to create all the cPanels. I don't need anything for the username. Now, cPanel password, just whatever I want for a password structure will do. And then the package name, as you know, you create packages in your server and then assign your websites to those packages. The packages say how much room each person gets, how much data bandwidth each person gets, whether they're allowed to have add-on domains or subdomains, and if so, how many, etc., etc. And so, you can create your package names. Maybe you've got a couple default in main, for example, and you just roll that down, right? And what now? Well, there you go. We can also create the main contact email address. So if somebody forgot their password to their cPanel, they can use the forgot password feature, and this will send it back to them. So if they forgot, so if this guy here forgot what his password was when he tries to go into the cPanel, then he can use forgot password and receive that reset option here. Okay, so you can also have emails in the system, and when we put the emails into the system, they are automatically produced on that domain. So this would be support@yourdomain.com, admin at yet another domain.net, admin at different domain.net. Okay, so we can put anything we want for our prefixes, and it will create those email addresses onto those websites. Okay, this is optional. You don't have to add this, but it's nice to be able to, especially if you want to set up and seem professional. You may as well have a support email address for every one of these at least. And then there you go. Okay, what's the password going to be for the email? Well, this is so you can access the webmail feature, right? yourdomain.com/webmail, right? So yourdomain.com/cpanel gets you in your cPanel. Use your username and password. Yourdomain.com/webmail lets you get into that email account, support@yourdomain.com or whatever, and you're going to read the mail. Okay. You may as well make the email password the same as your cPanel password. So if this was my cPanel password, for ease, for the, whoever I'm doing this for, whether it's me or somebody else, I may as well make that password the same. By the way, can it be the exact same password for all of these? Sure. That way, if they're all your websites, you just need to know one password to get into your cPanel, to get into your emails. Okay. Of course, remember, you could have a secondary password for getting into your emails, and as long as you can get to your cPanel, from there you can access your webmail anyway. Okay, just so you remember. Now, what do we have here? Forwarding. Whatever emails you can create, whatever you want them to create, you may as well forward them somewhere. Okay, where are you going to forward them to? Well, really often the same as your cPanel contact mail, but it could be whoever. It's whoever it is that got the account. So, for instance, if this is a Control-C, Control-V, if that was kind of the idea, okay, just to sort of make it make sense, then I would also copy and paste that here, right? That way, Bob got that domain. Maybe he's an affiliate of my system and I assigned that domain to Bob. Well, I set up Bob's support at that website. And instead of trying to teach Bob how to go and look at the webmail there, okay, I'm just going to have his mails forward to him. So Bob's mails will just forward to bob@msn.com. Okay, isn't that nice? Then if he gets a lot of mail, he can get more serious about logging in and setting up Outlook or whatever it is that he wants to do, or using the webmail link all the time to get inside the system. Now, having said that, we can also create other prefixes in the system. We don't have to have just one email address. We can have more. That way you can have a support, you can have a tech, you can have a service, you can have a activations, you can have a sales. Matter of fact, that can be it. You can have service, tech, sales, activations, and they will all forward to whatever they are. Service goes to Ann Smith. Tech goes to Timothy, and so on. Okay? So you can actually do an unlimited number of emails that way, more or less. You can go about as far as Excel will allow you. So you can create, what is it? Have to do the math. Some 10,000 email addresses, really, if you wanted to. It's kind of over the top, right? But there you go. You can do it. Okay? So that's built into that system. Anyway, this is the cPanel account setup. And that way, this will automatically and easily set up all of your cPanel accounts, create all the email addresses for you, and create all the forwarding for you. Okay? So that's very efficient. Okay, we have this here is an option for being able to install software. Okay, and we can install software onto any of the servers that we set up. Let me step back one. This is the servers. So we can add our accounts. We can add all those cPanel accounts into the system. Okay, we can batch upload even. And again, we can just paste in the information. If you don't know what you're supposed to put in there, download the sample, right? Open up, okay? And it'll tell you, well, server, user, and password, and then put them in. That's all your domains, your cPanel accounts, your domains. That's all the usernames and all the passwords, okay? And once you have it done, then you can run it, process it, close it, and it'll add all those servers to your system, okay? Now, with all those servers in your system, you can do everything. You can check out the whether you have any subdomains. You can see them all. If you don't have any, you don't have any. But you can absolutely go through this whole list and do different things. And you can delete them if you want. And you can change the passwords and the usernames and so forth. Okay, so you can update the whole system very easily. Now, with the subdomain option here, we can individually install software. Okay. So we can select a website to install the software to. We can decide whether to install it to the top level domain, or if it has, let me see if I can find something here that would. Let me see. I don't think so. Ah, yes. We could install to an add-on domain down below. Okay. Then, if we want, we can install to a subdomain. So if we have new software, and this could be T2HA, then that would be our subdomain. Or demo is it, a lot of the time when we install something like demo. So there you go. Now we're going to automatically create the database name, user, and password. Okay. So this system, when we submit it, it will upload the zip file that has your software in it, where it is you wanted it to go. In this case, demo.themedhtml-discount.com. Okay, so that's our subdomain on our add-on domain. And it will also create the database for us so we don't have to create it, right? Most software needs a database connection in the backend. So this will create that database name, user, and password. Now we have a random generator, okay, if you want one. So that way you're just always getting your random 7-character long alphanumeric name, username, and then passwords, whatever you want for a password. Usually you should remember your password, and especially for some of the features in here. So all you really want to randomize is the database user and the name. Other than that, you can leave the password whatever you want it to be. And of course, you can still select your database name and user. Some softwares require a specific database name and user, so you can just do it, okay? And same thing for that. All right. Having said that, whoa, what about prefixes, by the way? You see how we have the prefix? The system needs the prefix. It will automatically be added when you hit submit. The system realizes that, and it will actually look up the server's prefix, and it will add it, it will append it to the values for you. Now, do you want to upload the file locally from your computer? You can choose a file to upload, okay? You can either do that, or, and same with the SQL file, you can upload your SQL file. By the way, what's with the SQL file? That's the SQL table that needs to be installed into the database, right? And so the SQL file will have all the information, all the tables that go into the database, so that the front end, the website, can connect to the database, the back end. All right, so there we have that. Now, aside from local file, guess what? We can have a repository. We do online. And this is great because you can store your files online in folders. So let's just say this, okay? Selection mode, whatever it is. The root directory is whatever, the current directory is whatever. And then I have a directory list. This is where I put some software. This is where I put the 50 templates stack, or the bulk subdomain creator, and I actually put it here, or my Google verification file, so that I can access Google Webmaster Tools, and my system actually can connect the website. Okay, landing pages, only just the templates, or landing pages with the panels. Okay, templates with the panels or templates only. The WLRS system, the ALC tool, biking, T2HA, really whatever I want. So if I'm going to install theme.html for somebody, these are the two files I would have. The zip file with everything involved in it, and the SQL file for the backend, right, for the database. So I can select, right? And when I select, that selects that, and then I can select that for the SQL file. See how easy that can be? Let's say I wanted to install the ALC tool. Then I would just do it that way. I would go up a level to come out of that folder and go into my ALC, and I would just install the ALC tool instead. Okay? Now, user password. When you go to log into your software, you need a password. Okay? So this is built to understand that, directly speaking, for our purposes, the software we create. So if I just said my password was David B, David Bennett, then I could use it, David B123. Then I could use it just like that. Okay. Security key. Some of the software requires a security key, other softwares don't. Just depends on the software. In case of the ALC, security key can just be AAA. You can just do that. Okay. Then when you enter your email address, Well, that's your email address, right? Okay. Now, let's come to the all-important part, is the connection.php, and many of you were probably starting to wonder about that. If we're creating the front end of the website up here, and we're creating the back end over here, the database, and then so on the front end, we're uploading our zip file and extracting it so it goes live on the front end. And then we also upload the SQL tables and dump them into our new database in the back end. Okay. We have to have a connection file that connects them. There's two parts to that. One, the connection string follows typical database connection rules to connect the front end to the back end. Okay, so you don't have to actually go invent the contents of that file. It's going to be written using the information above. It's going to be written correctly and put into the right place. Okay, that's that. That's case number one. Case number two, very often it's not actually called connection. It could be called something else, connect. Okay, it could be called anything else. So the default's connection, but whatever your file would be named, if you had to preserve the name, if it had to be a certain name, then you can put that in here. Okay. Now comes another part called file content rules and database rules. That has to do with file and database content rules. I'll get into that in the next video, and I'll continue with the description of what this tool can do. All right, thank you very much for watching.